Bow to thee, O Lord. All names are yours, all forms are yours. With hands folded in prayer, we ask of thee the gift of the good mind, so that we may think good thoughts, speak good words, and do good deeds. Forever keep us on the path of truth, of Satya, so that we may walk life's highways and byways without fear or fear, with love in our hearts, your name on our lips, and good actions flowing through our hands. Knowing that work is worship and duty is God, loving all, serving all, helping ever, hurting never. This prayer, we pray to you, Bhagwan, to bless our gathering. Sai Ram. My dear alumni students, thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk. I will just give a chat and not give a lecture, because I am not a very learned man about spiritual matters, no matter what ever anyone says. But the boys have given me a small opportunity to open a small window and speak of the splendor of the second sun that we see in the sky. What do I mean by the second sun? There used to be a yogini called Indra Devi. She's of Russian origin. I don't know her Russian name, but all of you have read about her in Swami's books. Now Indira ji was always asked, and I got along very well with her. She was a very good yogic person. She was always asked, why do you always speak of Swami? She said, if I am sitting in a room and I get up and open a window just to let more light inside, and I look up in the sky and I see a second sun, what will I do? I say, hey, come, look, there's a second sun. So thank you for permitting me to talk about the splendor of this second sun. Talking of a Russian lady leads me to a small town in Russia called Alma-Ata, where a very wise man said, to move forward with vision, it is wise to glance backward with wisdom, in order to learn as a springboard for the future. So turning back the mind, the pages of history, I'm reminded of a few things that I want to tell you, which reveals the hand of God. This is much before I physically met Baba. I will divide my talk into the early part of Baba. Before that, I'm sorry, I've taken up with Swami's talk. I forgot to mention all the dignitaries on the dais here, especially Mohan Jaikar. Welcome, congratulations on being a Shirdi trustee and coming here to listen to us. Bhaskar from all the way from Hyderabad, Shailesh coming from Pune to once again be bored with my talks, as if he has not been bored. Our Rana, one of the senior advocates of the High Court. I forgot our Popat, the ever entertaining. I told him I can't match him in his speech. He doesn't speak, he performs. He performs beautifully about Baba. No, this is with love. So let me go back to 1959. The scene is the city of Chicago. The place is the United States. And it was in my house. I used to stay in an apartment house there with another roommate called George Ramsey, whom God provided me with a wonderful, wonderful human being. George was an American, but he took care of, he's an American, but he took care of everything. He used to buy all the local groceries. The reason I'm telling you all this is he used to buy the cheese, the toast, the Coca-Cola, the 7-Ups and whatever it is. One Sunday, I was finishing up my thesis and I had seen about 300 x-rays. Now I had to make 20 measurements on a single x-ray. So it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I had skipped lunch, forgot all about it, and got very tired. So I decided to leave my bedroom. I had a special unit got for me from the college in how to examine the x-rays. And I was very tired, my eyes were very tired. And I sat on a chair, which was my favorite chair. Now it was one of these old houses on Ashland Avenue with very ornate ceilings, very ornate. And exquisite but old. And I sat in that chair, I was just thinking, I just wanted to rest my eyes, but suddenly I decided that I will take a 7-Up. 7-Up is a drink like Sprite that is here. Now, I've never, in the 3 years that I was there, I've never done shopping once for the house. Not once. George was sleeping. It was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He had a separate bedroom. He was sleeping. So I decided to go across the road to the grocery store and buy a casket of 7-Up and bring it up. It must have taken me 7 minutes to come back. When I came back to the house, there was a crowd gathered around the house. And George, hey, where are you, man? I said, what do you mean, where am I? I'm here. What happened? The whole ceiling had come down. The whole ceiling had come down, and on the chair in which I used to normally sit was slightly broken, and there was a huge casket of cement with PP. At the best, I would have been hurt very badly. At the worst, it would have killed me. The whole ceiling fell down. Now, what was it that made me move to get something which I have not got for the last 3 months? Three years that I was there. That's number one. To carry it a little further, it was the end of 59-60, and I was on my way to India back. Air India at that time used to fly from New York, and I was stationed in Chicago. When, I had bought some equipment and some heavy stuff. I had a lot of luggage with me. And a friend of mine called Howard, who was doing his MD there, he said, I'm finishing my MD. I'll go to New York. I'm from New York. I've got a new car. You can fit in as much luggage as you like, and I'll give you a lift from Chicago to New York. Now, for a young man from India with shortage of funds, this was a godsend, that he would take me. So I said, thank you. And I said, what time will we leave? He said, about 5 o'clock in the evening or so. We would leave. I'll finish my exams at 1 o'clock. I'll take a little food and rest. And 5 o'clock went to 5:30. 5:30 went to 6:30. I was getting panicky because I had to catch the flight the next day. Taking a ride would mean that I would be traveling. I would be saved booking a hotel room in New York. He would take me straight to the airport. It was all funny. I went to his house at 6:30, 6:45, to find him lying on bed, totally drunk. He had finished his MD exam, and he was very happy. I was so annoyed that I was going to miss my flight. I was going to miss everything. And I did miss my flight. So I came back home, and I phoned Air India. In those days, it was not that difficult to change the flight to the next day. And I took the flight. But that flight was via Paris. So I said, good, I'll spend 2 or 3 days and see Paris and then go home. So when I reached there, I phoned my mother up. I phoned my mother that I'm coming on a different flight. She was hysterical. Hey, where are you? I said, who's talking to you? It's not a ghost. That plane that I was supposed to catch, which I could not catch because I was drunk, crashed off the coast of Scotland. If you remember the Kanishka, the Air India, and everyone on board was killed. Now, if you ask me to tell you about the good effects of drinking, this is one of it. I'm sorry. Totally. Now I'll tell you. This 2 things happened. Now let me come back to the time when I went to Swami. I came back in 1961 and started my practice. I started off by God's grace. I was not doing badly. When in 1963, my voice became very hoarse. I couldn't speak. I could only speak like this. And I had a lot of cough. And I found that I couldn't sleep straight. So for a year almost I slept sitting up, almost sitting up. Then I was examined, and they found that there was a tumor the size of a golf ball in my nasopharyngeal area. What is the nasopharyngeal area? From the nose to the throat. There is a cup, and there was a tumor there. They did not think it was malignant, But they did say that it was too large, and I might choke on it if it grows larger. And there is a vessel, blood vessel, that goes from there directly to the brain. So everybody, I showed it to some of the top-notch specialists in Bombay. Everyone saw it. Yet by the time I was speaking like this, and I was about to get married. And there was a lot of confusion because my in-laws, and rightly so, said, until this is cleared up, you can't get married. I didn't want to get married. God bless my wife. She said, no, we'll get married and we'll face it together. I said, look, don't be silly. I don't know what this is about. Why do you want to marry me? But the woman that she was, she finally married me like this. And it was we never showed it. Mind you, I was looking as normal as I'm looking now. You can't see that thing there. Only if I speak, you could hear that I was a little difficulty in speaking. When somebody gave me a book on Baba, Satyam Shivam Sundaram, Kasturi's book, one night I read it through. It was so exciting that I read it through the night. Before that, I thought God-men and all holy people were crutches that we Indians use to explain our difficulties, our faults. This was my feeling. Why I'm telling you, I didn't go to Baba for any spirituality or with any good search of knowledge. I went in need. So I said, why shouldn't he cure? At that time I heard that Swami had come to Bombay and he was staying in P.K. Sawant minister's house. I didn't know anything about Baba, so I went to the minister's house. But it was, by the time we went there, it was about 11:45 or 12 in the afternoon. And there was a policeman at the gate. And it's a minister's bungalow. The policeman said, Baba has finished, he has gone upstairs, now he's rested, he has closed the door. So you come in the evening or you go to the public function in the evening. Before that, I must tell you one small thing. I'm not a very religious person, but I used to go to the temple, the fire temple, at least 4 times a week. I don't know many prayers. Even now I don't know many prayers. I don't speak the language in which the prayers are written. But I used to go to the temple and just sit and pray. And then when I was this sick, I used to pray to the holy fire, which is the symbol of Zoroastrianism. And I used to say, please send me someone physically to meet my need. I know you are there. This is without any rituals. I know you are there, but I need somebody physical to be sent to me. Anyway, I went to P.K. Sawant's house. Am I rambling or are you hearing? Is it all right? I'm just chatting. I'm telling you real life incidences as it happened. And the policeman stopped me and he said, I said, I'll wait here. He said, don't be silly. You look like an educated man. Why are you disturbing us? Please, if you stand here, a crowd will gather and you please go. So I decided that I'll cross the road and stand across. Now, you know where the government guest house is in Bombay? At that time, P.K. Sawant's house was there. And it was a two-storied affair. So I stood there, but I was not well. And it was extremely hot. My mother-in-law, who had come with us, she left. My wife, of course, stayed back. My mother stood back. And I was getting very tired. So I said, I'll give it till 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then I will go back home. At 1:45, a small window opens on the 2nd floor. A Swami looks out and he calls me like this. I didn't know him. He calls me like this. I'm sorry. It was a very emotional moment. And I went there, but the policeman's back was turned to Swami. The policeman had not seen me with Swami. So he says, Kya karta hai? I said, Swami called me. By that time, Swami had gone back inside. And he looked back, Kya aap log educated admi hai? He started firing me, my wife, my mother. When Swami came down right behind, on the veranda, and he said, there were 2 Sindhi ladies who were also standing there. I think they were widows because they were in total white. I don't remember. And I and my mother, and we went in. Swami called me. I saw Swami. Before that, I had made a little joke. I said, who is this gollywog type of a person with this afro hairdo and this red? You know what a gollywog is? During the British days, there was those dolls and all that. I mean, not disrespectful, a matter of fact. When I saw Swami, Swami just stood there and he was waving his hand like, I didn't know. But I felt comfortable. Tears were streaming down my eyes when I saw him. I felt embarrassed also that I'm standing there, that this lady is looking at me. I wasn't crying. Mind you, I wasn't crying, but just tears were dropping from me. And it seemed like an eternity when Swami, and I also stood there. None of us said a word. And then Swami said to me, "Maa ka tabiyat thik nahi hai." Now, mother was an asthmatic, has been so for 40 years, and she had an asthmatic physique. So it was no great shakes to say that she is not well. You can look at her. Kal maa ko leke aao 9 o'clock. Ab bhi aao saath mein. Ab bhi aao saath mein. So then I took the courage. I said, nobody is allowing me to come inside. So he turned around back and they gave me a pass to admit some people with me, along with me. So I went there at 9 o'clock the next day. Now if Swami had called me at 9, he had called 200 other people at 9. And there was a crowd of people there, but everyone sick. I mean, I remember a young girl of about 11 or 12 who had a tumor in her brain. She was moaning around. Some people were in different types of sicknesses. And they were all waiting there. And then the door opened and Swami would call it like a doctor's clinic. And I was called in fourth, myself and my mother. Then my mother, my wife, you came in also, Nagesh? Later on, Asha. He called me and my mother inside. And Swami stood. I mean, it's very funny. The way he stood was as if he had his back to me. He was ignoring me, and he was talking all the time to mother. And he was explaining to her, "Tumko breath aisa aata hai, breath aisa lagta hai," like a typical asthmatic. And mother wasn't at all interested in herself. She was only worried about me. Now I didn't show, so I said, he stood with his back to me like this, and I was here, sort of excluding me from mother. And "Tumko aisa hota hai, aisa hota hai, aisa hota hai," and she said, "Swami, but inka kya? मालूम है सर, मालूम है ऊपर गड़बड़ है, negative, positive thoughts, operation करावे नहीं करे." Now let me tell you that the operation is as bad as the disease, because voice is trapped sound. If you are missing a tooth from here, you'd go like that. So this is a whole hole. I mean, the whole palate would have been removed. And मालूम है इनको. Then mother asked the $1 million question that she wanted to ask. She said, "Is it cancerous?" Because in her mind it was, I remember this, Swami took a step back. "Cancer?" "He is not your son, he is my boy. He has only come through you." I'm sorry. Then he looked back. It was many years, and this was 50 years ago almost. And he said, "He's my son." And then he leans across to me and says, "In 3 days you will be all right. Don't worry." Then he told mother, "Hold out your hand." So she held out her hand like this. And Swami took out a lot of ash. Now mother was completely, we were unknown to Swami. And what is this? So she said, "Ye kya karu? Kha jao." Now I look back, and if Swami had not said to her, "Kha jao," the old lady would not have gulped the whole ash also. She just gulped the whole thing herself. Quickly, "Kha jao." Then he said, "Jao, jao, usko kuch nahi hai, jao." Mom said, "Nahi, nahi, abhi ho gaya, jao." So I went out. On the way home, I told mother, I haven't coughed once in the car, and my voice seems to be okay. I kept quiet. Mother said, "Keep quiet." I went home. Then I thought I was psyched. Some psychology was working on me, and I was psyched into believing that I'm telling you honestly as I felt. So I didn't show myself to anybody. any doctor, anything. But that same afternoon, I went to our temple, and I said, I met this Satya Sai Baba. Is he for real? I want a sign. Just let me see how we argue with the divine. I said, I want a sign to know that he's for real. I mean, he's not a fake, or he's not just a fluke. And then we decided to go to the public meeting. As usual, we were late. And a huge crowd, huge expense. And I was sitting on a rock, almost at the end. And Swami had come out and giving darshan, but he was somewhere in the middle of the crowd. And he turned around to go back to the dais. And I said, oh my God, won't you turn around and come here? In my mind, suddenly Swami turned. Mind you, it was a huge Maidan. He walked straight towards me, straight all the way down, all the way at the back. I was in the back row, back or second last row. I was sitting on a little bit of a rock. He put his hand on my shoulder and says, don't press too hard. I don't know what that meant, but I took it as a sign. Because he turned around. He said, don't press too hard. I have a habit of pressing too hard at times. Pressing for a thing too hard. Don't press too hard. He says, and he went back. I was still in that moment of doubt, so I never showed myself to a doctor. Mind you, I have full records of all this. I never showed myself to a doctor, never did anything. I said, if they say it's still there, then I'm feeling much better. I could talk, my voice opened up. I'm speaking to you today because of Swami's grace. 6 months later, I got up one morning and I coughed very badly. When I coughed, I spat blood. I got frightened again. Alarm bell started ringing. So I went to Hiranandani, who's about 3 or 4 minutes drive from my house, and who had known me before, and I said, Hiru, I want to see you. He said, why? I said, I'm coming. He said, okay, come. I was fairly well known in that time in those circles, so they didn't want to say no to me. I went there, and he said, what happened? I said, I want you to see my throat. He saw me, and he said, you're too tense. I can't examine you. You're too tense. Tell me, what have you eaten? I said, I have got up from bed. I have not taken a drop of water. I have come straight to you. Then he said, I will induct you. You know what is induction? It's not gas, anesthesia. It's the first stage where you relax the muscles slightly. He said, let me induct you slightly. Let me see him. Then he inducted me. And then he looked around and he said, Keki, what happened? I said, why? Nothing is there. Nothing is there. So I said, but then I had blood. Oh, it might have come from your gums, he said. Then he said, it might have come from your gums. Who else? I don't know. So I said, what happened? So I sat down and I spoke to him. He said, go, you are a blessed man. I have had such cases like this, and they've all placed it to Swami. So there I got the confirmation from Swami. This is when I met Swami. This is how I met Swami. I tell you a few things that will give you an idea of Swami. One day we were at Parthi, and I said this story about how I met Swami because people often ask me, how is it that a Parsi like you believes in Swami? Well, to me, Swami has come to me through Zoroaster. I am to my temple, I pray. I have no distinction. I have no feeling of distinction. I'm completely convinced. And when I asked for a sign, he also signed. He also gave me a signal. Then we were at Parthi, mother and I, when Swami called us for an interview. Then he told mother, hold out your hand. So she held out her hand. Then he put his hand on her and he said, I promise you I'll come for tea. When I come to Bombay, it was 2 months that he was going to come to Bombay. In 2 months I'm coming to Bombay, I'm coming to your house for tea. The way Swami said it, I'm coming for tea, made me feel a little, funny, sound. So I smiled and mother smiled. Mother and Swami had a very, very, very different sort of a relationship. The mother smiled outright. So why are you laughing? And why is he smiling? I was smiling because of the way Swami said, I'm coming for tea. It sounded very incredulous to me. Mother said, Swami, you have been saying this for the last 3 years and you have not come now. I promise you. Why did I ask you to hold out my hand? I promised you. So mother went back to her house. She painted her. Mother used to stay separately. I used to stay separately. And every time Swami came to Bombay, I was fortunate enough that he blessed my house with a visit. Every single time. But with Swami, you had to observe certain protocols. That you had to say, Swami, will you come to my house? And you have to invite him. But I thought, when he told mother that he's coming to her house, I thought it would be extremely selfish of me to invite him personally. So I didn't invite him. I didn't say anything, come to my house. Well, Swami came to Bombay, Dharmakshetra here, up the hill. He said in the car one day, Chalo, तुम्हारा घर को जाने का है. Indulal Shah, sit down. Swami sat down in the car. He made me sit down. Then he said, driver को बोलो तुम्हारा घर को लेके जाओ. Up the hill. I turned around and said, Swami, you said you're coming to mother's house. तुम्हारा घर को लेके जाओ. Still, I said, Swami, you said you are going to mother's house. You don't want me to come to your house? Now, how do you answer? How do you answer this? So how do you answer? What do you say to him? So I kept quiet. But if Swami gives you a problem, he will also give you a solution. He came down the hill and he stopped the car here to give darshan to the people who were here. I knew the Sevadal people. So I called Dalal. I said, now who is no more? I said, Pramod, come here, quickly. Do 2 things for me. Call my wife and say that Swami is coming to our place within an hour. I stay at Nariman Point, so it takes an hour to get there. And phone my mother. Tell her, don't ask any questions. Just hot-foot it with anybody to my house. Don't ask any questions. Now my wife was always ready when Swami comes to Bombay. We are ready. So I knew I was not putting a great burden on her. We are ready to receive Swami with everything. She was ready. And Swami came here. Then he said in the car. Then again to emphasize, tumhara ghar ko leke chalo. I now didn't say anything. Then he went, then he stopped on the way to somebody's place to give my wife enough time to get ready. Then when he goes and he enters my house, not mother's house. My mother is sitting there in the front row with my sister sitting there, my aunt sitting there, all those people whom mother might have called. And now, in my family it is well known, I'm a little strict where Swami is concerned. I say they must behave themselves, can't throw themselves on Swami. But in mother's place, they were all very happy that they could have free access. My sisters and all were very happy. And they were all sitting there. Swami walks in, sees my father, sees my mother. Arey, what kind of a son have you got? What a selfish boy. Instead of bringing me to your house, he has brought me to his house. Mother and father knew Swami well. So there was no question of anything happening to mother. But my sisters made big eyes at me, my aunts, all that, Finally, mother didn't say anything. Swami stayed there for an hour and a half. He had tea with us. He really had tea with me in my house. And was talking. And then he went on needling. Yeah, I would disown a son like this. Yeah, I would. What is this boy? He needled mother 3 times. Finally, she said, Swami, is Keki capable of taking you anywhere you don't want to go? And he came. Good girl. Now see, 2 days later, I'm coming to your house. Promise you. So in this way, he came to my house, and 2 days later, he went to mother's house also. And this was his naughtiness. You've got to understand Swami. Talking of mother, when Swami comes here to Andheri, Dharmakshetra, I am one of those 2 people who are there with him all the time. I'm in his room, I draw his shower, I take out his clothes, for him to wear, and I bring his food. So normally we divide it. So I am the one who sort of fetches food from the kitchen to him to eat. Now Swami is like a little baby. You got to look after him. If you are looking after Swami's this thing, you can't say Bhagwan khayega nahi. You got to see that is the human body, that is the divinity in flesh, and the flesh has to be fed. So one day, Sallaben Shah fixed up a whole tea table, a tea tray with all kinds of goodies that Swami liked, and he took it upstairs to her, and I put those things in front of Swami. Meri ichha nahi hai, main nahi khata. Swami, you must eat. Meri ichha nahi hai. Swami, I am very scared. Oh, you're scared of Salah? I said, I'm petrified. She'll kill me if you don't eat. Aisa hai? I mean, I had to say something to make him eat. Aisa hai? I said, beto. He made me sit down. He took a pakora, opened it up. Muh kholo, he popped it inside my mouth. He took out another thing, popped it out. Muh kholo, popped it inside my mouth. 4-5 items he popped inside my mouth. Jao, abhi jao, leke jao, bolo khaya hai. Meko aapne nahi khaya, maine khaya. Same difference. Isme kya hai? Tum bol do. Salah mein tum abhi batao, maine khaya hai. Now this is Swami. Okay, that's one thing. Well, then to stretch the story further, mother had developed terminal cancer. And she was a gone case, because when I spoke to Swami, I said, Swamiji, mother has cancer. Kya doctor, should people live forever? Then I thought that mother was going. So I said, Swami, I only pray for a peaceful end. Peaceful end mangta hai, jao milta hai. And I was here on duty. Swami had come here. At 7 o'clock, Swami went up and closed his door, bedroom door. That means he is retired for the night. I get a phone call that mother had fainted. She was in coma and she was taken to the hospital. Come quick. So I said, I can't come. I'm on duty here right now. Then I said, speak to my father. So I asked to speak to my father. I asked my father, do you need me? He said, no. Does mother need me? He said, she's in coma. I said, do you need me to come here? No, I don't. My sister snatched the phone. What nonsense is this? What are you doing? Your mother is in coma and all that. I said, give the phone to the doctor in charge. I spoke to the doctor. He said, I'm sorry, but your family, but I don't think the old lady will last the night. That's what he told me. I said, but Swami has gone up. I can't knock on his door and ask for permission, and I can't leave without permission. I'm on duty, Swami. And on duty with Swami means you can't go. So my father understood. He said, no, you stay upstairs and you pray. I said, I'm not coming. For the simple reason that I'm on duty, I've not asked permission from Swami. And mother is as such in coma. She doesn't need me. Well, what can I do there? I'll rather sit there and pray. So I prayed. I made a couple of phone calls during the night. How is she? She's still in coma. In the morning, I get up. Swami opens the door at about 6:30, 7 o'clock. And I give him his morning papers. And he sits back, crosses his leg and reads the papers with the paper right in front of me, as if he's blocking me from view. I'm standing there very anxious. Finally, I made a sound. Kya hai? Swami, I got a phone call that mother has been admitted to hospital and she's in coma and I need to go to see it. May I have your permission to leave? Now, this was on Saturday morning. I got a phone call on Friday night. The doctor said she would not last through the night. On Saturday morning, Swami says, hospital mein hai, देखो हम सावन का घर को जाता है वेनसडे को तो तुम हमारे साथ आओ हम वेनसडे को सावन का घर जाएंगे yes Swami I'll come with you but now can I go to the hospital नहीं तो हमारे साथ आओ Saturday morning who can say this with authority the doctors say and it was a leading doctor mind you doctor say he said तुम हमारे साथ आओ मेरे को shall I go there to see no बुधवार को अपन साथ में जाएंगे I did not inform the hospital. She was in the Parsi General Hospital. Because Swami's coming there would I thought, create a commotion for, in Parsis and hospital. I thought. Some of the Parsis are orthodox. And, but I didn't say because I really didn't know whether Swami would go and visit or not. I really wasn't 100% sure. Sure enough, he goes there on Wednesday morning. By that time, mother had regained consciousness. She had regained consciousness. And he goes to the hospital, goes up to her room. And you know what mother does? "Hey, क्या करते हैं आप इधर?" So he says, "आपको मिलने को आए? अरे, thousands of people are waiting at Andheri for you and you come here all this way to see an old lady? What is the matter with you?" She's fighting him. Swami turns around, knocks me on the head and says, "Dekho, isko bolta hai bhakti." And I said, okay, Swami. I mean, if Swami wants to scold Indulal Shah or Java or somebody, he scolds me instead, always. Then he will turn around and tell me, "उन लोग का heart soft है." Swami, I'm not hard-hearted. What do you mean? No. You understand. So I always used to get blamed for everything. So he turns around, he knocks me on the head. Dekho. Then he sits on her bed, or next to her bed. Half an hour he sat there. She was conscious of the fact that Swami has come, so she had only a coconut water next to her. So she offered him coconut water. Ma, I am not the patient, you are the patient. Lie down. I talked to her, then took vibhuti out, applied it to her from the head to the toe. It went away. Mother passed away 2.5 years later. 2.5 years later. Now this is Bhagwan. Understand this story. He tells me on Friday night I get a call. She won't last the night. On Saturday morning he tells me we'll go on Wednesday. Sunday, Monday, you could have understood my state, but Baba said so I didn't go. He said, he went there. This is Bhagwan. This is the person who can say, have I got some time? Some more time? I want to tell a few things, a few incidents which, if it helps someone, it will be good. I was once standing with Swami in Prashanti Nilayam when an English couple, middle-aged couple, came to Swami. It was on the ground floor downstairs. I said, "Swami, you have helped us a lot." I was standing by Swami's side. "You have helped us a lot, but now we want to do something. So we've got some fortune, so we want to donate certain things to your mission." Swami says, "No, you keep it for yourself and use it well. I don't need any money from you." No, Swami, they pressed it. "We want to help you. We want to help you." Then Swami said something. I was standing by the side. Normally, when you stand with Swami, you make the faculty of closing your ears to what Swami tells other people. So you close it. So, you want to help me? All right. Then you do this for me. You walk on the path that you think Swami will walk, not where Swami will not go. You use your hands the way you think Swami will use your hands. You see through the eyes of Swami. You hear through the eyes of Swami. If you do this, you will help me a lot. This is what Swami says. How does he address us? How does he address us? Embodiments of the divine Atma. He's first addressed Prema-Sarupa. He's giving us an indication of his message that the divinity is within you and I are divine. He says, you walk like that, you walk like Swami walks. You act like Swami acts. You see what Swami sees. That's one example. Another time, I was talking to Swami downstairs, and I was recommending to him an appliance for the hospital, which would at that time cost 6 crores, which would have put us on the cutting edge. Nahi, bahut paisa hai, itna paisa mere paas nahi hai. Swami said. At that time, a man came and offered Swami 9 crores of rupees in front of me. So my heart jumped. I said, chalo, hamara paisa aa gaya hai. Swami said, nahi, tumhare paas family hai, bahut hai, tumhara paisa tumhare paas rakho. When he went away, I asked Swami. I said, Swami, why didn't you accept this money? Uska paisa acha nahi. That is our Swami. Uska paisa acha nahi. Once I was there with Swami again, when a state president came with Swami with a list of things. Swami, we have done this and we have done that, and very impressive list of things. So Swami, and you know, Dr. Mistry can't keep quiet. I mean, my problem is that I treated Swami as a friend, which is what Swami wanted me to treat him as, with respect, but in a friendship manner. And I said, Swami, good work, huh? Good work hai Mistry, but God's work hai. Listen to this carefully and imbibe. I'm saying all these random things for you to pick up a gem from it, not to just discuss something. Good work hai, God's work hai. I was wondering, what? All good work should be God's work. Think about it. That's what do you mean? No, you think about it. Once I was in Swami's bedroom in Parthi, upstairs, and Swami used to call a few of us to talk. But this time I was alone and he was resting with his hands like this, talking to me. And a student was massaging his legs, doing Padaseva. At that time, Swami's bedroom was above the mandir, above the interview room. And there was a shelf at the back where there was a timepiece. Suddenly the student got up and went to the time. Swami asked him, what are you doing? He said, I'm adjusting the timepiece. Swami said, देखो मिस्त्री, वो पद सेवा करता है, उसका attention किधर है? Timepiece के ऊपर है. Now the young boy, Swami's boy, being young and brash, Swami says everything is Swami, so the timepiece is also Swami. He said that. Swami got up. Swami said, you can't say that. When you are saying that, it's an excuse that everything is Swami. Only when you feel inside really that everything is Swami, then you have the right to say this. These are the few gems, you know. I mean, there are countless incidences of Swami's reign. You know, Swami one day at 6 o'clock in the morning, I got up, I was fully dressed but I hadn't had my cup of tea. In those days, you know, I felt that I couldn't begin my morning without a cup of tea. When a volunteer comes, Swami is calling you. I said, now? 6 o'clock? I said, yes. There Swami was waiting with his car and everything. Chalo, under bed jao. And there were some boys. And we went on a circle of around surrounding villages. Now we went to village number 1. Let me put it this way. And a lady came with a hot glass of milk to Swami. Swami, you have it. Swami said, no. So Swami put his finger inside the milk and said, no, you take it. No, Swami, you take it. Oh, okay, if you don't take it, you give it to one of your group. So Swami said, Isku dev. I was sitting in front. Swami, Isku dev. I very gladly accepted the hot cup of milk because I needed it. We went to the second village. The same incident happened. And you know, in Andhra, the glass of milk is a big glass. Andhra glass is a big glass. and so he said, Isku dev. So I took it. We went to the third village. Same thing happened. Swami, Isku dev. On the fourth village, I said, Swami, I will spoil your car if you don't mind. I'm sorry. Arey, but tumne tea nahi khaya, tumne tea nahi liya. Look at him. He said, tumne tea nahi liya. I said, Swami. So humorous. I mean, humorous. And yet his humor is with a sense of teaching us, with a purpose. Once we were in Vrindavan and Java and I, you know, Java is the owner of Joy ice creams. And Swami said, you guys come for tea. Come for breakfast. Now in Vrindavan, as people know over there, the milk and the curds and all are very famous. And Swami is very pleased with those curds. You must be knowing from Vrindavan. So Swami said, come at 7 o'clock for. Now, you know, Java wouldn't get up in the morning before 7 anyway. So from 6 o'clock, at 6:30, I almost threw him off the bed and told him to get ready and go. But by the time we reached there, in that old house, it was 7:20. And Swami is sitting there in the corridor on a chair waiting. Yes, come. I know Mistry must have made you late. Now, if our trustee will permit me to talk about can I talk about? Convener of our trust suddenly passed away. And I had to appoint a new convener of the trust. I mean, I had to appoint trustees also, so I appointed Nimish Pandya at that time, and I wanted to appoint a convener of the trust. So I said, he's a director, we were staying very close to each other, he's a director of the Reserve Bank, executive director. He should be a very good person to have mentally, but you can't go and tell Swami like this. Swami will say, what do you want? So Swami wants a protocol to be followed. So I prepared, that is why he said I asked for a photograph. I prepared a dossier of so many people. Some students also were volunteered to have come. And I prepared his picture and all that. And then I took the album to Swami. Now, you know, I can't bend down. I have a problem with my back from a riding accident when I was 15 years of age and other things. So, as Swami was in a wheelchair. So Swami, and the students would wheel him past me. And I can't bend down, so I could not hold the chair back. The students would not wait for, I mean, that must be an arrangement between Swami and them. Not blaming them, but I'm just saying so. I couldn't hold it back. I went again, second time, the same thing happened. I just couldn't hold Swami's attention, he was there. Third time, it happened. I lost my Parsi cool. I said, Swami, this won't do. I'm not able to see you. You guys go ahead with this, and I need to appoint a convener urgently. Karta hu. And he went away. And I was sitting there on that after. He calls me inside. He says, Swami is calling you in the interview room. Now, Swami's interview room, you all know, is only one chair, Swami's chair. Sometimes there are chairs for people, are called in for people who can't sit on the floor. Swami had his chair. Next to that was a table. Next to the table was a chair. Abhi ye arrangement theek hai tumko. You must understand the irony with which Swami says, Abhi ye arrangements theek hai. I mean, I burst out laughing. I mean, you give me the opportunity. Then we finally decided on, तुमको ठीक लगता है भास्कर? स्वामी आप बोलो सब ठीक ही है. नहीं, he has a good heart. I don't know if you say he has a good heart, he has a good heart. And I said, but we were happy with Swami's choice as always. This is Swami's sense of humor. What else can I tell you? I can tell you so many things. I can go on little spots of things. As you see, I have not prepared any talk. I wanted to chat with you on a heart-to-heart basis. What else shall I speak? Is it all right? I've spoken too much? Thank you. So, my best wishes for the coming new year to all of you. May Bhagwan bless you. Listen to me very carefully. You know what Bhagwan calls all of you? You know what Bhagwan calls you? Bangaru. Yes, of course you are all Bangarus. But you know what he calls you all? When Dharmakshetra was a hill, Swami brought me here to see it first. And he said, this is the place where I will build Dharmakshetra. You know? And, क्या मिस्त्री ठीक है? स्वामी बहुत दूर है. तुम्हारे लिए दूर है. हम सबके लिए दूर नहीं है. My angels will come and work for here. Those who work here are my angels. Now, Swami has called all of you his angels. We have to live up to this word. Same thing with the wellness center. When we were sitting there, Swami told me, I want a wellness center built. देखो, तुमको मालूम है wellness center क्या है? तुम्हारा exercise करने का नहीं है? 1 2 1 2. It's so funny how he talks, you know. Build a center. So I made some plans ready. I was an architect and I showed it to him. And Bhaskar was there when he went through it. He blessed every page. Then I thought I would ask him how to function, what to do with it. And the next thing I knew, the Swami was in hospital. So I came from Bombay to Puttaparthi And of course, he was in the ICU and we were not allowed to see him. So I was sitting with his family members. I've been going there for 40, 50 years, so I knew the family members well. And a nephew of Swami was sitting next to me, a man whom I have seen normally every single time on the veranda, and whom I have said, Sai Ram, not this present trustee, the other fellow. And he and I have never exchanged any word. We've never talked about the organization. Suddenly he turns to me and says, how is the wellness center coming along? Huh? How do you know of the wellness center? Because Chakravarti, Srinivasan, myself and Swami were there when we talked about the wellness center. How do you know of the wellness center? No, when Swami was sick, we had asked permission, the family had asked Swami. At that time, Swami was talking only of the wellness center. He said, I've asked Mistry to make that wellness center. So now I feel the wellness center is being built and it is yours. It is yours and mine. It is up to you what you make about it. Swami wants to make Dharmakshetra, he once said, as an international center. As an international center of retreat, where people would come here, relax, meditate, do yoga. You will be blessed to work here as his angel. So I feel now the thing is up to you people to pick it up. There are no guidelines. I thought I would consult with Swami and he would give me the guidelines. But there was no chance. But right from the ICU came the echo of his voice. What is happening with the wellness center? The nephew who has never spoken to me about a single thing about the organization asks me, how is the wellness center doing? I'm not as colorful as our Popats are here. Neither can I finish singing, because if I sing, all of you will go quickly away from here. But I would just say Sai Ram for patiently listening, and may the blessings of Sai always be upon us. May we realize the value of the second sun who has crossed our firmament and gone away from us. I wanted to talk to you so much about what Swami, after Swami's passing away, but I have no time. But there is one thing that I want you to understand. What does Swami say to us first? First, visualize, then conceptualize, then internalize, and then realize. Visualize, conceptualize. Now, all those who miss Swami's physical form have visualized him, but have not internalized him, have not conceptualized him, have not understood him. Believe me, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all the weeks, all the years, he's here. He understands, he talks. I asked his permission if I was going to speak today. I've been asked to speak 6 months ago. And I said, no, I'm not going to speak, because I hadn't had a chance to talk to him, as I do, because I said, I always tell him, as I tell everybody, I don't know. I always feel inadequate when I talked about, I've given lots of lectures in my time, but to talk about Swami, I don't feel adequate, because I don't feel I really propped his depth. But he has been very gentle and very kind and very sweet towards me, and may be as gentle, as kind, in fact kinder and much better. Bless you all. Sai Ram.